Dr. K wants to say hi. Come here.
He was a me. How old is he now, Carlos?
He's 10.
10. So it's been about 10 years.
Yeah.
Is he turning 11 this year?
Yes.
Yeah. So 10 years.
Wow.
A decade. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to finally do this interview.
So, yeah, it's been a while.
Yes. I always refer to you. You're such an integral part of,
Honey,
all of it.
yeah, it is definitely. But the good thing is I've not had no problems with anything or hurting or pain or nothing. So, and I had a heart attack. About 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Sure.
So, and no lasting effects from it either. So.
And you survived. Yay. You're a survivor, my friend.
So.
Just to clue everybody in, you're my patient zero, my first CRPS patient ever. And
Yes.
that was about 10 years ago. You had full body CRPS, I think for 5 years at the time, wasn't it?
Yes.
And gastroparesis, so you couldn't eat solid food anymore.
Yeah, no, it got to the point that even drinking water was hurting. So, and then that's when our cousin went to a meeting that you were having, a seminar that you were holding. And so she came back or she called us and asked if she could actually share my story with you. And then she called us back and said, you need to go see her. So, and of course, by then I was very skeptic because, everything they gave me was a single paragraph on a piece of paper. That was it about the disorder. So they didn't have no clue. They knew it's been around since the 1800s, but they had no idea how to treat anything.
Right.
And so, after spending about 2 years trying to figure out everything myself and studying and trying to learn what it was and, contacting different people, and then after, like you said, about 5 years of having it, finally getting a hold of you, I still remember the day that I walked in there. The only question that kept going through my head is, don't ask me to eat. Don't you dare ask me to eat. No matter what you do, don't ask me to eat. And that was the one thing that you asked. So.
And you did. Yeah, you went and ate that night.
Yeah. And the first time, I was able to keep it down and I wasn't hurting from it. And so that was really a blessing to be able to do that. And of course, I didn't only eat mine, but I ate half of my wife's too, I think.
I remember when I did your history, how Tanya was doing all the talking for you. You wouldn't even speak to me, and you finally looked up and you said, I don't think you can help me. I think that was the big thing you said to me that day.
Yeah.
But we've created some history together, my friend, because a lot of things have happened since then. You came to me before I had all my fancy tools and staff members and technologies, and we just did it the old school Vegas nerve way. And you've had some trauma since then, Carlos. You've had surgeries. I think you had a fracture, didn't you?
Since our last treatment, I've had a few. I messed my knee up.
Had a heart attack.
Yeah, had a heart attack about 5 months ago.
No, the heart attack was only like a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay. A couple of months ago on the heart attack. I'm wrong. But I fell at home before we even came up to Wyoming and messed my back up to where it put me on the couch for like 3 days. I wasn't able to move. And Tanya had called you and said, okay, what do I need to watch for? But nothing ever happened. I broke my hand even after that. So yeah, I mean, I've sustained several different types of injuries, and not a flare up or anything from the RSD since.
So you hate the word remission, and I'm not allowed
Right.
to hear.
Yeah,
I need to
I
be respectful.
I don't use the word remission anymore. I use the word cure, and the reason I use the word cure is because I share that you were the ground purpose, the person here that was sent by God to help initiate everything else, and then God took over from the rest of it. And so I've, like I said, I'd gone out and, I mean, I tore my ACL and my knee and all that stuff and caused some major knee damage, and
moved us to 14 below
no
weather.
RSD or anything flared up from it. And yeah, Tanya goes, and you moved us to 14 below plus weather in the wintertime. And so,
You're in Arkansas. You're in Wyoming now.
yes. And
How does it feel? Do you ever, I'm always curious, do you ever watch our videos, or is this all so far behind you now that you're just kind of living your life?
no, I keep up with the ones that ring the bell and everything that you have going on in the clinic. So I kind of watch and see, and I'm glad to see that they're getting the same help, because I remember how miserable it was, and the feeling of hopelessness that you had. I mean, I was 32, 31 when the doctor told me there was nothing they could do, and what I had was killing me. And that's a pretty hard blow to deliver to somebody who was in the prime of their life at the time.
Yes.
And then to watch your life as it basically disintegrated in front of you. From being one of the most physical fit persons and at the top of your peak, to having to go through the process of using a cane, to being put in a wheelchair, to being in a bed all within a month, and your body starts shutting down to where your organs, you have no control over your body system at all. And that's kind of a very traumatic and hard place to be. You lose all hope. And then to go through that process, and then having to come back with a mindset that I'm going to fight no matter what. This is not going to own me, but I'm going to own it. And that's the mindset that I had to adapt to. And that's what I had to learn, I guess, through the process, is that I wasn't going to allow this illness and this disorder to control my body, but I was going to control it. And then that's when I decided that no matter what, I was going to find help somewhere, somehow, that other people wouldn't have to go through what I went through. And so that I started the research at that point in time. But it was bad enough that I did put a gun in my mouth and try to take my own life. And of course, again, my faith in God is like, no, there's a bigger plan for you. And so, and that set forth a lot of turns and emotions through life, that has led to where I am now. And, the process of you helping and everything else I think was an absolute part of the process to where God wanted me to be. And so it was just holding on to all that. And like I said, I've called you in the past a guardian angel. You were sent here by God as an angel to help in that process. And I truly believe that, because 5 years of nobody else being able to help, and you decide, what, let's see if we can, let's do this. And then you wouldn't give up, even when we hit our 10-week mark, and it was trying to come back with a vengeance, and was trying to, all the burning, all the pain came back like 5 times worse than it was during that time. And you're like, no, we're not going to give up, we're going to beat this. And so we kept pushing forward, and finally we got there. And and it's been a blessing since. So
We get tickled when we walk in and see all those gadgets you use now, though.
yeah. Yeah, I'm reminded of our kids say, you're from the Stone Age, and when dirt was, something, and I walk into your office now when we come by and visit, and all the stuff, and I'm thinking, you know what, I really was back in the Stone Age.
Well, we kept going until, you find that one patient that you're not helping, and then you've got to find the thing that will help them and others. And so upping that success rate consistently. And so that's how we ended up with all those things. But I do want to tell you, I'm sure you know this, Carlos, because we share a bond, but you were also sent to me. And you saved my life in many ways, because I was so miserable in practice before, and I wasn't fulfilled, and I wasn't passionate, and now I get to do this amazing thing every single day, and we've helped so many people, and really starting a movement in this chronic pain world, to give people hope again and fight against the status quo where people are just given medicine or ketamine or spinal cord stimulators. And you were the person that changed all that for me. So I'm eternally grateful to you both. And all these patients that I've walked in your footsteps, you're always going to be my patient zero.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, let them know when they're ringing the bell. We're celebrating with them. So every time we see them do it, we're clapping.
So.
It's awesome, because you could just be living your life, but I think you've always stayed so humble and so grateful and willing to speak to people. And I think we'll be going on 11 years of remission soon.
Yep.
Yeah, Sean will be 11 in July or August.
Yeah.
Little baby when we started. So
yeah, he was little. So, but
Yeah.
and our 17-year-old that will be turning 18 in May is talking about going into chiropractic.
Oh.
Yep.
So we told him if he did, he had to call you and talk to you.
Yeah, that's River.
Yeah.
So
that's my River.
he graduates this year.
No,
next year. And so he's looking into it, and it's like, you know what, go to Dr. K, learn the stuff, and you can come up here and start a treatment process. And he's like, I might just do that. So, and it's like, because we told him, we said, Dr. K started the process, but you can tell him, you know what, my dad is the actual patient zero that she started with. And so if you want to learn something, come and talk with him. Yeah. And stuff. And so
that's fantastic.
Oh, they don't have to see me.
I've seen how one single event has rippled out, and all these other things have happened, and so many people admire you and follow you. And I mean, I think all my patients, past and present, everybody knows about Carlos. So you're quite the legend, my friend. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Like I said,
they're welcome to call.
You guys can call anytime. We can set up, anytime or whatever. I do get a little busy, and being a pastor and helping in our church. So it's and God is blessing in that as well, and changing some things. So it's kind of different, and being able to actually do the things that you took for granted before. I mean, like I was telling Tanya, going through the process has taught me a lot, and in life. And I think that is with some things and everything, in the calling that I am doing now in my life as being a pastor. I believe that God is like, you know what, this is how you can stay humble. You can relate, you've been to the worst part of life, and you came out, and you can help keep that positivity with people during their struggles. Not just the RSD community, but life in general. I mean, we are going to get hit with things, and we're going to get it. Just, no matter how hard you get hit, you've got to decide whether you're going to stay down or you're going to get up and fight back. And life's about getting up and fighting back in order to achieve and accomplish. You've got to keep rising up. You can't just stay knocked down or allowing yourself to be knocked down. I mean, you rise above and you keep pushing forward, and you don't ever give up. So in that aspect, those that do struggle, that feel lost and feel hopeless, or there's no help, step out in faith, take charge, and keep moving forward. Yeah, you may have barriers that might hinder you financially at times, but I was told a long time ago, half of nothing is nothing. So it ain't going to matter if you have money or don't have money. It's what you're going to do with your life in order to rise above what you have to do. So, if you don't have anything, why are you worried about having something that you don't have? Don't let that keep you from making a choice to move forward and to get the help you need for your life.
I was just thinking, it's funny that when we first came to see you, that I was just praying that you could help him eat, keep things down again. At that point, it's like, let's just see if we can get that far at first. To now, he can go out and we can spend all day on the four-wheeler out on these rough roads and just exploring nature, and come home and he's fine. I might be a little sore, but he's fine.
A whole new life.
It is.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to make this mandatory for every one of our patients. And I love you both. And
Love you.
I'll forever be grateful to you.
Love you.